Frosty Boy, Mr. Freeze, the Ice Shaman, whatever you want to call him, he's a fucking powerhouse. And you voted for the build video. He can defend, strip armor and crowd control all with his base kit. And with the right subsumability, can dish out a lot of damage in the process. But how does a frame from 2013, with its prime being released 4 months later, hold up today? Let's find out. If you're new here, my name is Xironium and I like to have fun. Put stupid builds together that may or may not work, like Tempest Barrage on Protea. Did that back in November and now that's the meta. Anyway, if you don't know what Frost does or haven't farmed him from Let's Kill and 4 Assassination over on series, then here's a quick rundown of his abilities. His first ability, Freeze, sends out an ice ball to freeze the target or anyone unlucky to be in its wake. His second, Ice Wave, releases a wave of spiky icicles in a cone-shaped pattern to deal damage, with some mild crowd control, as enemies who suffer from the cold status are slowed down. The third, Snow Globe, prevents damage from coming inside the icy bubble, but you can still shoot from the inside out. Finally, his fourth, Avalanche, releases a radial ice wave to freeze targets, then attempts to shatter them at the end of the casting animation. After casting the ability twice, you'll strip the enemy's armor for 100%, but we can bump that up to an insta-strip later in the video. Noteworthy about his Avalanche, if you use the augment Icy Avalanche, you can also gain Overguard Shield. How much is dependent on the amount of enemies that you hit. In addition to Icy Avalanche, we're also going to be using Biting Frost for an extra 200% critical chance and critical damage against enemies who are frozen. Now with the base shield value of 650, redirection is the way to go, especially with the shield gaining that we have today. Redirection will bump it up to 1300 and the prime version to 1820. With Boreal's Hatred from the Archon Hunts, we can get 2242 shields. Adaptation will grant damage resistance, stretch for range, flow for energy, and if you have prime flow, go with that. Augur Seekers will grant some shields if we use our abilities and will also give us some ability strength. I'm also using 2 Tau Forge blue shards for a passive 15% health per second regen, 2 non-Tau reds for 20% ability strength, and 1 non-Tau red for 10% ability duration. Corrosive Projection in the Aura slot will ensure we fully strip the enemy's armor in a single cast of Avalanche, making them cups of butter, which we then slice with our weapons. Remember, Biting Frost will grant 200% critical chance and damage, making quick work of those armor stripped enemies. Personal preference here, but I like to pair Frost with a bow, either the Mutilus Cernos or the Netaruk. Both are great options, as one can crowd control and crowd kill, and the other one can do massive crit damage, and in general, they both feel great to use. For secondary, I go with the Augakor or the Kuvanukor, both are great at dealing with groups of enemies. Melee weapon, up for debate, but I've been enjoying the Quassus a lot lately, especially on mag. But that synergy might be for another video, as it turns mag into somewhat of a rune nuke. But for Frost, I go with a Saw, using Exodia Contagion. The mobile gameplay loop is simple. You hop into a mission, use generic dash for energy regen and just lay into the enemies. You regularly use your Icy Avalanche to strip armor and gain overshield, and keep Sata's Whisper up for some nice extra bonus damage. For survival, find a room that you can easily defend, put down the bubble and shoot the first enemy that comes inside and keep doing it. Even the Stalker Acolyte won't be able to defend against the armor strip, making Frost a perfect early game frame for Steel Path. And that's gonna be pretty much it for the video. This is how I like to play with Frost and toy with the enemies, of course. If you have any other questions about my weapons and how I mod them, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And make sure to upvote if someone already mentioned that weapon. I might make a video about it. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay frosty.